Hello, my name is Shadow Templar 591, and I'm back doing a video I haven't done in a little while. I'm doing a what is video. Just for those who didn't see my last what is video or wondering what the series is about, basically my what is series is kind of like WTF, what this is. It's a lot along that line, but it's less reviewy and more like beginner's guide kind of impression-y stuff. So I'm gonna give you the very basic information about this game, such as who it's made by, what kind of game it is, story, plot, that's kind of the same thing. Gameplay, aesthetics, the controls, and then does this game accomplish its goals and how much it is, and then kind of give a summary of everything and any little tidbits I have to add in that are maybe unrelated, related to the game but not directly. So this game is Influent, as you probably have seen. It is made by three Flip Studios in conjunction with Computer Laboratories, which I believe is somehow affiliated with the University of Tulsa, and MEXT, M-E-X-T, which is somehow affiliated with the Japanese ministries. I don't know if it's a Ministry of Culture or Language, but it's part of the program they have over there with one of the Japanese ministries. So what kind of game Influent is Influent? It's a language learning game. It's going to be mostly grammar focused. Actually that's the total wrong thing. It's actually going to be very vocabulary focused. On that front, this game is very basic. So the gameplay is very basic, the story is very basic, so statics controls are very basic. I'm going to get into why in a little bit, but if you keep hearing me say basic, that's not the video skipping, that's me sounding like a broken record. Influent was originally Kickstarted. It was originally a Kickstarter game. I think that's one of the reasons there's so many different organizations working on this game. It's also is kind of why I think the gameplay is kind of basic, but the developers have said they want to add new stuff in, more areas and stuff, which I will go into in a little bit. But for now, we'll talk about the story, which is once again very basic. Told you, gonna sound like a broken record by the end of this. Basically, the story is your chap here, this gentleman that you see, who is your avatar in this game. Basically, is going to made a device, and the device that you see is actually on this computer screen, that purple and blue thing, and it basically can translate. It's basically kind of like what we all believe Google Glasses was going to be, but kind of in a tablet form. So this game is actually pretty old. So before, when this game came out, that kind of was a new thing. Obviously that's kind of fallen by the wayside, the whole idea with Google Glasses and everything, but nonetheless, I digress. So the story is, he made that little device to translate languages, and then a big company steals it. So he uses this world Kickstarter to get it out, so he can make the money, and not the big corporation. What actually, how they got it is he went to them with the designs, and they just kind of ripped him off and stole the designs. So that's the story. The gameplay is going to consist of essentially two modes. They say three, but two of them are very simple. There's going to be this walking around mode, which is called the walk mode. So you walk into these four rooms. This little nice bedroom, this bathroom, this living room, and then this kitchen. And as you notice, you can open things, not only doors but cabinets. I can open that shower, the toilet. So just about anything you think you can open, the computer is openable, and it'll have other little, how can I say, like hidden vocabulary, I guess Easter eggs would be the word. So this game is kind of like almost point and clicky without like the actual charm of it. Like a lot of the mechanics of like opening stuff, looking for items, clicking on them. It's very reminiscent about that. Basically, in this walkthrough mode, that's basically, like I said, it was what you're gonna do. You're gonna be clicking on items, adding them to your vocabulary list for new ones, and then from there you can do time attack mode. Time attack mode is what it sounds like. You know, I'm gonna do flyby mode because it's basically just time attack mode, but it looks a little different. Basically, flyby mode is just this, instead of just a main character, as a main character clicking around for stuff, you're this little plane. I personally don't use this mode too much. I prefer just the way you're the gentleman just walking around, kind of doing it normally. That's my preference. Some people might like it the other way. I just thought I'd share that just so you know. So that's basically the 3 modes. So once again, gameplay is very basic. They have said they want to add new areas. I'll go over how they're going to do that, or how they think they're going to do that later on. Aesthetics, once again, very basic. I mean, it's a language learning game, guys. I mean, as long as the objects look what they look, I mean, as long as you can tell what the objects look like, is a better way of saying it. I mean, you don't need high fidelity graphics for this, which is, I think, another reason. Though I do wish your avatar looked a little better. There's some weird shading going on all around his face and around his neckline. It's a little disorienting, but yeah. As for controls, basically you're going to be using WASD and right click for the most part. Once in a while you'll use shift and down, and then you'll use left click to open stuff. I mean, that's the controls in a nutshell. Like I said, very basic. As for does this game accomplish its goals? It depends. If this game's goal is to teach you a language, it's not going to, because it lacks grammar. You don't know how to say phrases or sentences, or syntax or grammar or conjugation of verbs. That's a thing. So unfortunately, on that front, it would fail. But if this game's to teach you vocabulary, I think that is where it really shines. It's teaching you vocabulary, and the reason I say this is because you probably noticed in the flyby mode, but it also talked about the bed sheet, so the bed frame. So most languages, when you either do it through a program, like a web browser, or even go to a class, or I don't know about Rosetta Stone. They're probably better about this, since it's so much money. They can go into this, but most of the things I'll just teach you about, like what an object is and not what the parts make up. This will actually, when it comes to household stuff, it'll actually teach you what the parts are. So you can use the bed, and I actually forgot to mention this in the controls, but if you hit control, you can, so now we have the bed sheet, we have the mattress, we have the bed frame. And it's not just for the bed, you can do this for the door. So you have the door handle, or the door frame, and then you can do it for lights, the toilet. So there's a bunch of different things you can do it for, which is, I think, where this game shines. Now, I've been talking about how basic it is and some reasons this game is like that, why it is so basic in many retrospects, and that really comes down to the price. It's $10. I mean, for $10, what more can you ask for, really? And it's even cheaper if you buy a second language. So $10 gives you the base game. So then when you don't actually have to buy the base game again, what you do is you buy your next language as a DLC for only $5. That's pretty cheap. Granted, because of that, a lot of the things are, once again, basic. But I mean, for $5, especially for a game that is often on, you know, Steam sales, Humble Bundle sales. I'm guessing it's probably on GOG. I don't know that for sure, so don't quote me on that. But I mean, if you go on, like there's a Reddit for this game. The devs, I believe it's the devs, it may be just players of this game, always posting on like, this is going on. Influent is going on a Humble Bundle sale, or there's going to be a Steam sale. And a lot of times the Steam sales and the Humble Bundle sales are at the same time. Not always, but usually they are. So I mean, you can even get it for even cheaper than that if you're really patient. And the devs, not so much through the Reddit subreddit page. That was a tongue twister. But on the Steam page, and I don't know if this was the case, and I don't know if it still is, but they were very active on that. So if you have any questions, or you know, want to talk to other people about this game, that's where to go. That's where the community is. That's where they're. Not to say if you post something on the subreddit they won't get to you. It just might take a little while. That seems to just be more where they kind of update new stuff or tell you when the game's like gonna be on sale. I don't know why that happened like that. It just happened. Going back a little though, I missed something. The only one thing I can really criticize this aesthetics is it's not so much aesthetics as a color choice. If you notice on this chair, and you might not have been able to tell, this is a cat. The brown and black, it's just a choice color. If they should have made the cat white or something, it's really hard. It's just kind of hard to see. That's all. So if you colorblind or something, that could pose a little problem. But for the most part, they put items next to each other that kind of contrast very well, so you can tell they're different. That they didn't. I don't know why. But besides that, there's not too much you can. For the price and everything, and also the way it came into being, you can kind of understand why it is, how it is. So now I think I'll just give you a summary, give my final thoughts, and let you go. So, what is Influent? Influent is a language learning game that was originally kickstarted on Kickstarter. Duh. For $10 and then $5 for every other language packs. It has multiple languages and even dialects. So if you want to learn Brazilian Portuguese instead of like mainland or European Portuguese, you can. Right now for Spanish, they only have Spanish as in from Spain. Later on, they are looking to adding like the American Spanish, quote unquote American Spanish, you know, like probably like from Mexico and South America and stuff, Central and South America. Right now they do have Mandarin Chinese, but they're looking into adding Cantonese Chinese. And you can actually check all these, which languages they have added, which languages they're working on, and which languages they eventually want to add right on their main page. The main website, I believe it's www.influent.com. If not, just Google it, it'll probably pop up. So that's great. You know, I gotta say, this game, and it's very open. The devs, if you know where to look, are very involved with the community, which I think a lot more could be. They actually also, if you know this isn't your thing, they also and I'll show you a poster of it because they put it in this game as a little Easter egg. They also came up with another game called All and Jeanette Latinus, which is a couch co-op 4-player game. They said I think that it was also on Kickstarter. I don't know how that went, but they originally said some of that money from that game was going to go towards this game. I don't know how the sales went for Armed Anonymous or the Kickstarter, but I know after it did come out, they did add 2 languages. One was Hindu, another one is I can't remember, and I should have looked it up. Now, whether or not that has to do with any of the sales of that game, or they just found the money somewhere else, I don't know. But either way, I mean, this company is a good company. I would definitely think if this isn't your thing, maybe look into that. That's also Armed in July. That's also $10. So I mean, pretty cheap stuff. Obviously, it's also going to be, because of the price, because if it's on Kickstarter, it's going to be probably also very basic gameplay. But at the same time, I don't know that. But even if it is, I mean, it's $10. I mean, how many times have you bought a $60 AAA game and got 3-4 hours out of it? I mean, if you get 3-4 hours on a $10 game, I mean, that would be, that wouldn't be that bad, I don't think. But I digress. So that is what is Influent. It's $10 language learning game by 3 Flip Studios that succeeds at being mostly a vocabulary learning game. Not so much as a language learning game, but definitely as a vocabulary game, and it, in conjunction with other programs such as Duolingo or Memorize or Rosetta Stone, I think this video game really excels, and that's really all there is to this. Once again, my name is Shadow Templar 591, and as always, guys, have a great day.